Eyes up here.
Hey there guys, how are you? Welcome back to another awesome video, and today's movie review is going to be of Superman. So Superman, or at least this version or this adaptation of Superman, which was, I remember correctly, was originally going to be called Superman Legacy, but James Gunn then changed it back to just being called Superman. So Superman has, of course, our titular character confront with his conflicts of both his human life as Clark Kent and his duties and his responsibilities and his life as Superman. So this, of course, is directed by James Gunn, who we know as the guy who did the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, and he even did the Suicide Squad. Not this Suicide Squad, this Suicide Squad. This was my most anticipated movie of 2025. There was just something about the fact that James Gunn wanted to helm the DC cinematic universe, and this was going to be the first of many new movies DC was going to wind up producing and starting this new cinematic universe. And right out the gate, this film beginning gives us two things. One, that we scratch out the whole origin, like we already know the origin, we just jump right into everything. And two, we literally jump right into everything. We lay out the action, it just sends you into full gear immediately. And then before I get into anything else, I do want to say that there's going to be some spoilers with this review, so if you haven't seen the movie, you have been warned. There's going to be some little details I will mention about the plot and some other little things I think that will happen maybe going forward with the sequel and maybe with the cinematic universe. Like I did in my initial thoughts on the movie, I'm going to touch on that with David Corenswet as Superman. I think he's great. I think he has a lot of potential here as Superman. He's not Henry Cavill, he's not Christopher Reeves, but he isn't yet. I feel like over time we're going to watch him progress, and as he grows as Superman, we're going to watch him grow as Superman and watch him grow as his character. We're going to start loving him more and more and more and more each time we see him. And I feel like everyone else does a fantastic job as these characters. The romance is definitely cute with him and Lois, and then he's got at least a nice little friendship with him and Jimmy, of course. And Krypto, he was like the best thing about this movie. He was one of the highlights for sure. Best dog, 100%. He was so adorable and so chaotic as hell. We got the Justice League or the Justice Society. Technically, they're not called the Justice League or Justice Society yet. They're called the Justice Gang, so like a working title sort of thing, which is great because we have Nathan Fillion, who is Guy Gardner, and I know we all wanted him as Hal Jordan, but I think he's better as Guy because he gets to be an asshole. Guy Gardner is known for being an asshole, and I think it's hilarious and it's hysterical for Fillion to do this. Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific is another scene stealer, another highlight for me. He was so great and makes me love this character more. And I'm glad that Eddie Gathegi gets to do more and not be just side characters and supporting roles. He kind of has what feels like star energy, maybe, to me. Isabella Merced is great as Hawkgirl. I want more of her. I don't know what it is about her, but I really like her a lot, and I'd like to see more of her for sure, and hopefully we'll get a lot of her in the future down the line. And shout out to, I forget the guy's name, but his name is Anthony. I forgot his last name, but I remember him as Victor Zsasz in Gotham, and for now he is Metamorpho. I thought he stood out for sure, and way to come in clutch in those moments. This movie is definitely all about world building, and it's building up this universe, and it's establishing this universe and that these characters exist. And it not only throws you into the action, but it throws you into this world that is definitely feels like, yes, this is meant to feel like a comic book movie. And it feels like that 100% with some of its campness, some of its over-the-topness for sure, especially with how James Gunn, I've noticed, directs characters or directs intense scenes. Like, don't get me wrong, he knows how to do like the more quieter, soft-spoken, intense dialogues, but then he always cranks them up to like 9,000 where everyone's screaming their heads off, and I've started to notice that, but it's just something I think he does a lot lately, which is not a bad thing. It's just something I'm starting to pick up more and more with more of his movies, and even with the first Guardians of the Galaxy with Ronan screaming his lungs out Thanos. I was like, yep, okay, kind of see a pattern here, but I think it still works for how he directs acting. And one character that's hugely like that in this film is Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. And I love him as Lex Luthor, honestly. He definitely gave me vibes of kind of like Smallville vibes. He kind of gave me vibes of what I feel like what the Snyderverse was kind of going with the whole analogies and this whole philosophical, calculated mind. And I feel like that writing they were trying to go for with Jesse Eisenberg works better here than it did in BVS 100%. Dude was so menacing. He was such a fucking menace. Oh my gosh. Him and the Engineer and Ultraman, which by the way, it's kind of an interesting move to have Ultraman kind of in your film. And I don't know what it was, but there was something in particular and something specific that Lex Luthor said about Ultraman when he was revealed that it was basically a clone of Superman that made me think and go that I feel like we're gonna see Ultraman again in like the sequel perhaps, but I think when we see him in the sequel, I think we're gonna see him become Bizarro. I don't know why, I feel like I'm getting Bizarro vibes for the Superman sequel. I feel like he's gonna be in the sequel along with we're gonna see Supergirl, which by the way, she gets a nice cameo. So I feel like there's gonna be Supergirl involved, Bizarro might come back, or Ultraman / Bizarro might come back, and we may or may not see Brainiac in the sequel for Superman 2, and maybe some teases of Darkseid, because I feel like with how Lex Luthor at one point in this film has a pocket dimension, I feel like that was somewhat teasing boom tubes and all those like little things associated with Apocalypse and Darkseid. I think one thing that people will have an issue with the film, which this kind of made me indecisive if I wanted to make this movie great or not, is the fact of this movie kind of feels a little bit political at times, and it definitely gets really intense with that. And like I said before, it made me cringe, but in a good way. And look, I'm just gonna say it here, I'm not looking to be a simp for DC, I'm not shilling for DC or anything like that. I like both Marvel and DC overall, and so if people are gonna wind up saying that about me, then they're gonna say that about me. But at the end of the day, I'm not shilling, I'm not being, paid to say all this stuff, but at the end of the day, this movie had a lot of political talks, a lot of alienating with Superman, kind of a little bit of like hints of that, and sort of that sort of like turn. You can imply maybe racism, stuff with war going on, all this crazy chaos happening, all this negative things going on in the world and technology and so forth. And we have Superman that's just trying to be a good person and be a hopeful person and a human being. We really see a vulnerable side to Superman, and I think that's what's really great about this film. So I'm at least gonna give Superman, I'm going to give it a B+. So Superman, have you guys seen it? What did you guys think of it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please smash the like button. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe to us videos every day, if not every week. Make sure you ring that bell to new videos every day of the week. Share the video with family, friends, all the good stuff, and more loose suggestions down in the comments. You name it, I'll look to do it as best as possible. Look out for more things I have in store for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.